What Earp? What Earp?
Wyatt Earp,
Wyatt Earp.
our patron saint here at Call Him Father podcast. Wyatt Earp.
Which this is another episode of.
Whoa, call him Father.
Well, Jesus Christ.
Ah!
Welcome to another episode of
Call Him Father.
I'm Josh Creedon.
He's lying out the gate. That's not true. That's what this agnostic does.
We
He
lie.
lies with zero remorse.
Because it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Nothing matters. So I guess he's Josh and I'm Grant Moore.
I think if you're agnostic, you still have like a moral code.
Yeah, try explaining it though.
Who cares? It's a gut-based thing.
That is true. I wonder how you'd explain that. Anyways,
So yeah, we're doing it again still.
Yeah, we're still doing
we
it.
are. We're still in Genesis.
He's almost in, you guys.
We'll be. Yeah, the enthusiasm for Christ is radiating out of me.
Uh-oh. He's Grant Moore. I'm Josh Creedon.
And I am Grant Moore. And together we're two comedians reading the Bible. And man, we are still reading the thing. And first, so the Genesis is the book, right? It's like we're in the book
of Genesis.
Book of Genesis, chapter 35.
That's where we're starting now.
That's where we're starting
right
out
now.
today.
Yeah.
So we'll get to that, but first we're going to rate our spirituality and rate our religiosity.
Yes.
You want me to start or you want to start?
I forget who started last week.
Doesn't matter at all.
All right, yeah, I guess that's true.
I'll go first. I'm going to give my spirituality for the week. I'll give it a 6 or I'll give it a 6. I'll give it a 7 actually.
Oh, right, 7. That's pretty good.
I had a couple days where I was like, you know what? I'm connecting to something. I'm
Cool.
connecting to people. But I'm doing the prayer stuff and I'm doing it more freely throughout my day where it's like, okay, I don't know how to deal with this feeling or the situation. I'll put it out there. I'll put it out into the universe or to God, and I'll get something back like, calm down. Worst case scenario is not that bad. You're
retarded.
You're a piece of shit. Go die.
What? That's such a crazy thing to complain about.
I don't like you specifically. Really? You kind of gave me a pretty good life.
No, it's to confuse you.
It's to make this more confused.
I want to pull the rug out from under you.
That's really the only thing I like doing is confusing people, which honestly, it feels like that sometimes.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, there was a couple moments where I was having like little light panic attacks or just like, what do I do? And I was like, oh, I don't have to just root this around in my brain and go, what do I do? I can actually put it out there.
That's awesome.
And, I felt better.
Awesome.
So I think that's pretty spiritual, honestly, for a guy who thought this was all stupid maybe like a year ago.
Yeah.
So that feels like a pretty big jump for me.
Yeah.
And then religiosity, it's still just like in terms of which specific thing, it's like, it's tough to say because...
Sure. Yeah. Sure.
it's the hardest thing.
So it's honestly pretty easy. People haven't
That's
been
why people have been fighting and dying
wars.
and killing for it.
Yeah, for forever.
Yeah, I guess it is. Yeah, but it's just we're not even to Jesus yet. I really know nothing about him. I'm getting a lot of Alex O'Connor or whatever his name is.
Sure, yeah, he's a good guy.
Suggestions on my YouTube, and he's making some good points.
Yeah, okay. No, he's great. I really like him.
My girlfriend likes fucking Buddha, and he makes some good points. So I guess I'm at a 3 in terms of I'm going to church, I'm looking around, I'm going to other churches. I really want to go to a mosque. I really want to check out a synagogue.
Mm-hmm. Does your girlfriend want that, or
my roommate who's Muslim?
Oh, okay.
We were talking about doing it.
Oh, nice. That'd be fun.
But I don't know if my girlfriend wants me to start being like, hijabs are really sexy.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at. I'm at a 7.3.
Cool.
Collective 10, baby.
Collective 10. That's a double-digit number. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Let me see. Where would I be? Religion still 7. It's still 8. I think that's just gonna probably be where I'm at. 8, and then spirituality.
Spiritual.
What?
Sorry.
What did you say?
Spiritual.
I mean, spirituality probably. Honestly, I think if I talked like that, my spirituality would go up.
Way up.
I feel like I'd be more in touch with my feelings.
Centers you, dude.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. Maybe probably like a 5 or 6. Not super high level on the spirituality this week. I mean, not because I wasn't praying. It's hard because spirituality. I mean, it's unfair to talk about this way, but it's so experiential that it's just like, oh, if I didn't feel the presence of the Lord, does that mean I wasn't spiritual that week? It's like, not necessarily. Maybe that just means that I experienced the Lord differently. It doesn't mean that it wasn't spiritual. You know what I mean? So that's kind of like, it really just shows the flaws of this rating system.
This rating system maybe sucks, but
we're committing to it.
We're committing to it, and no one else, no one has complained about it in the four comments that we've received.
Collective, 5 I mean, we've released 3 episodes.
Yeah, and
what could they possibly have said?
They could have said this. Hey guys, I love the concept, but the rating system seems kind of stupid.
We got that about the whole podcast.
Exactly.
Several people, but not the rating system.
Specifically about the rating system.
All right, that's a good point.
So
that's a good point. Yeah, that's true. So I think collectively, then
if it's completely broke, what do you fix?
That's good. If it's all broken, it's like, well, we'll just keep doing this.
Yeah,
thing.
I guess.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Do we get some constructive feedback?
Yeah, we'll sit in this
gay and bad.
Yeah, we've gotten kind of both of those.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of a broken down race car. We're just sitting in there pretending to drive. We're just like saying,
hey, there's no better analogy for religion to me.
Ouch. Ouch. Ow.
Sorry. Destroyed.
Yeah, that's true. I destroyed you on the
clip. It's all that Alex. Is it O'Connor or just Alex Connor?
Alex O'Connor. Yeah. He's great, dude. He's really, really good.
You know what, dude? He really is good about, like, I do not believe what you believe in, but I do respect you as a person.
Dude,
and we can have this conversation. We can even make jokes in this conversation. Like, you can give a jab at me, I can give a jab at you, and we can really healthy conversations.
Yeah.
Which is so nice to see after a decade and a half of, Ben Shapiro destroys, Amazing Atheist destroys.
Yeah, it's so stupid. I mean, he does a great job. He talks to William Lane Craig a number of times. All of those are fantastic. William Lane Craig is like the foremost Christian apologist. O'Connor talks to Dawkins in one conversation and kind of makes Dawkins look a little stupid. And Dawkins doesn't even
that's because they're both British. That's the only people who can do that.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point.
You have to fight British fire with British fire.
Yeah, fight British with British.
Fire with fire.
Oh, that's a terrible. Oh, fire. Oh, you're
fire with fire.
That's so gross, dude.
Is that bad?
That is the most poor voice in the world. Is a Cockney accent. That's the poorest.
If I go the trolley and get the beer.
Take a West Virginia, like a whatever bad Southern accent that sounds poor.
No, dude. When you
that is the poorest accent.
When you get to like Duck Dynasty. I mean, I know those guys are rich, but subtitle South, I think that's poorer.
Yeah, like Louisiana, like Bayou people,
where it all sounds like 3 different letters, just in different. Here,
right?
We gonna go down by the Bayou and charge a bunch of different stuff.
And
Deliverance level.
I still think that dude might be the CEO of a secretly crazy, construction company or something.
Versus
a Cockney, which is you have no potential.
Interesting.
Cockney guy, I'm just like, oh yeah, you're cooked, buddy.
That's a chimney sweep accent.
100%. Yeah.
Okay.
Accidental blackface accent.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
All right. So Alex O'Connor, check him out if you don't like us.
And listen to him and William Lane Craig. Those are really good. If I'm trying to fight for the Christian angle here, those are great. Alex O'Connor is really good to Christians. I think he's one of the best atheists out there. Totally fair guy, super knowledgeable. Yeah.
If you're looking for to actually learn anything or get a good take,
not us.
But if you want to just fuck around. Hey,
if you want to try to goof
around for the next 50 minutes.
Yeah, if you're trying to goof, we're here for you.
We're here for you.
But that's different.
Yeah. All right. We wrestled with God. We did.
Yep. Got renamed.
We got renamed
from Jacob to Israel.
And then guess what? Chapter 35, we're getting renamed again.
Yeah.
And is it a different name? No.
It's the same name. Same rename.
It's the same rename, but for some reason, we needed another chapter without all the homoerotic wrestling.
Was that homoerotic? I guess it really depends on how you read it.
Oh,
how you picture it in your head.
I guess the whole damn thing's homoerotic with how I'm reading it.
Yeah. Am I editing this one?
I guess I am.
Yeah, because if I'm editing it, I'm not cutting it out.
All right, that's fair.
And leave this in regardless.
just the debate about what we're cutting out. That's funny.
Yeah. So if you're going to cut out that thing, then yeah. Tune into our Patreon where we just put the cut out parts without any other context. So it's all bad. It's
That's
all
a great
garbage.
idea.
Is that a good idea?
Yeah, just like to cancel us, you must pay.
Yeah.
It's like a toll for canceling, even
Yeah.
though it's like who would give a fuck enough. But
Yeah.
all right, so you're gonna have to go over all these because I read these in a fast go last night, and I did not understand most of them.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I mean, it's just one of these things where a God shows up to again. Jacob just kind of like, why can't I think of the word? Reunited with Esau, his brother, and he was terrified at first, but then Esau was like, "No, we're chill," and he's like, "Oh, okay, cool." And then Jacob settled kind of away from Esau. But actually, as he talks about here, well, I guess we'll get to that point. But basically, God said, "Hey, go over to this other town, Bethel." Make an altar there to me to worship me, kind of like he did when Jacob fell asleep on the rock and he had the vision of Jacob's ladder, and then he rose and made an altar.
Give this rock a hot massage.
Right? Yeah, those were hot stones. That's where that came from.
Really?
Sure.
Okay.
And so that's where for God was like, "This is gonna feel really good. Put some oil on some oil on these rocks."
Yeah.
And so that's what he did that again. And God basically told him, "Go to Bethlehem."
Mm-hmm.
I believe that's and then that's kind of where what's happening right now is like and this is interesting. He's like, "Hey, go over to this land that none of your people are in." He's like, again, kind of just doing what God does, which is like, "Hey, go away from where you are, go to someplace else." And Jacob's like, "Okay, I will." And it's so funny because as they're journeying through like enemy territory, right? It's like, and as they journeyed, a terror from God fell upon the cities that were around them, so that they did not pursue the sons of Jacob.
Oh yeah, what the fuck does that mean? Like they just got spooked?
Yo, man, yeah, they had like night terrors or whatever. They were just like, "Whoa!" They just went crazy.
Wow.
And so Jacob's just like walking around, and instead of these people being like, "Who the hell's that guy getting through our land?" It was just he just kept walking through.
Yeah, it's just
Cool.
another example of one of those things where it's like it's such a big detail and it's one sentence. You know, it's like you are protected to the level of I guess jump scaring entire I'm jump scaring entire towns to stay into their houses while you go to this other place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then eventually God and there he built and Jacob came to Luz, that is Bethel, which is in the land of Canaan where Abraham and Isaac dwelt. He and all the people who were with him, which is a ton of folks at this point. Remember, he like the city he built up basically with Laban that he had to separate.
Right. Plus, now all the people that his sons stole when they killed the circumcised folks, they're coming with too.
Sure. That's us now.
It's almost like he's leading a nation.
Whoa, Israel, perhaps. Which is actually interesting for you to say that, because God appeared to Jacob again, blessed him, and God said to him, "Your name is Jacob. No longer shall your name be called Jacob, but Israel shall be your name." So he called his name Israel, and God said to him, "I am God Almighty. Be fruitful and multiply. A nation and a company of nations shall come from you, and kings shall come from your own body. The land that I gave
many companies.
Many companies.
Many of the Fortune 500 companies.
Yeah, exactly. Many companies. You should see what New York is going to become. The biggest city in the world is going to be run by your folks. Banks. He's like, "What's a bank?" He's like, "You guys are going to love banks. You guys are going to be pros." And so, he's going to give all that stuff. And Jacob set up a pillar. And he poured out a drink offering, and he poured oil on it. So Jacob called the name of the place where God had spoken with him Bethel. Oh, let me read this. I was reading this in my Bethel. And okay, I was reading this in the wrong, or not the wrong one, but I was reading it in my small one. Okay, never mind. It doesn't answer the question that I had.
Cool.
Oh, okay. Bethel is not Bethlehem. Ephrath is Bethlehem. So never mind. I misspoke earlier.
Okay. So this is a different place.
Different than Bethlehem, yes, because Bethlehem doesn't really exist yet. It's called Ephrath.
Okay.
It's not called Bethlehem as of yet. So basically, it's just like all right. And also, I mean, the fact that God visits him again and says this to him kind of reinforces this idea that the person that Jacob wrestled with was God, right?
Right.
Because the
so-
man that Jacob wrestled with gave this promise.
And is that another theophany? The
Yes.
wrestling?
Yes.
So he maybe wrestled with Jesus.
Sure. Yeah.
Right.
Who is God? Yeah.
Who's God? Yeah, okay, so it's like the weird thing is does he wrestles with the guy, the guy's like, hey, your name's Israel, doesn't go by Israel, and now God comes into him or comes in a dream or whatever. Not a dream, but speaks to him again, is like, hey, I was serious. Your name is Israel.
Yeah. Your name's Israel.
So stop
Which
doing
also-
this Jacob business.
Yeah, which is funny because when it keeps going later in the story, it does refer to Jacob as Israel. It says, and then Israel in chapter 35, verse 22, and 21 even earlier. It said, Israel journeyed on and pitched his tent beyond the Tower of Eder. While Israel lived in that land, Reuben went. And so it's like, so then even the scripture is like, yeah, we're going to start calling him Israel. And they call him Jacob too. But it is like now both and, it's not like he erases his old nature. That's kind of what's different. Like Abram became Abraham and then went by Abraham only.
Yeah.
Jacob is Jacob and Israel. It's like both.
Is there a reasoning to that?
I'm totally sure that there is. I have no idea what it is.
Perfect.
This is what this is where I really excel.
Yeah.
Because we're saying I don't know about that.
Okay. Well, I appreciate it. Okay, so that happens, and now,
God like confirms this promise of the land.
which he's done a couple times.
Sure. Which
But
again,
you got to do it every generation, I guess.
it's got to be helpful because how many times do we feel like we've been promised something and then we just forget and we're like, no, never mind. So for God to come through and be like, no, I really meant it, is actually, we see it as like, why do you keep saying this? But it's like, I don't know. I like being reminded of promises that have been given me.
Sure. Okay.
It's a nice,
I accept
that's
that.
helpful.
Yeah. Hey, you got a lot going on. You got a whole bunch of women and children you've stolen from a group of people you've killed. You got a lot. You got two brothers who they can do some damage if they're not watched
Seriously.
after.
Yeah.
You just got a new
Sons, yeah.
name. You got to change all the stationery and your
Oh, that's got to suck.
You
Yeah.
gotta
Your
change your
towels. You got to
email, your towels.
Yeah.
you got to rebrand the camels. So you need a reminder of that name and of the fact that God promised you all the whole bunch of stuff.
You got something to look forward to. This isn't all for nothing.
Okay, and so then after what a great thing to be reminded of. Now he's going to get reminded of death
Dead.
because his wife and father die.
Which, first off, talk about the father first. Remember at the beginning when Jacob tricks Esau? Mm-hmm. It's because Isaac is like nearing death and he needs to bless them,
Oh,
and
yeah.
Isaac's like, my eyes are failing.
I can't even see who my son is.
And then he's gone for 14 years just to get, or 7 years just to marry Rachel.
Well,
He
he's gone
then
for
marries
20
her-
years.
He's gone for 20. He's got like 12 kids.
Sure.
And he goes back into the land. He was there for like 20 years or something. And his dad's still alive. It's like, I thought you were going to die. What is this?
Yeah, I bet that pisses Esau off. He's like, "Hey, what the fuck, man?"
Yeah,
the
I thought you
excuse
were gonna-
was that you were dying.
I thought you were going to kick it.
Yeah, it's really the old dog that won't get out, and it's like, I want a puppy.
Also, imagine living, if blind people listen to this, I'm so sorry. But imagine living blind, like you could see, and then you're like, I can't see from it for like another 20 years back then.
Sure,
That's gotta-
yeah, but I think people cling on to life pretty.
Yeah, I guess it's probably true.
Desperately.
But like, yeah, I don't want to die. I'd rather be blind. So yeah, Isaac dies, and also Rachel. So she had trouble in childbearing before, right? She has Joseph, key figure. Doesn't have another kid for a long time. Now gets pregnant again, and in pregnancy, or not in pregnancy,
She gets hard.
she gets hard.
She has hard labor.
Okay, I got confused. Yeah, she is a hard labor, and when labor was at its hardest,
Which isn't labor always hard? I mean, these ladies are always complaining about how hard it is.
it's kind of a good point.
Yeah.
It was at its hardest. Someone's like, no, but this labor was really hard.
This is so hard I died. I mean, that's pretty hard.
Well, now it's like, how do I believe you before? Like, if you keep saying it's the woman who cried hard labor, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
right.
like, well, is it okay? I thought it was
Right.
hard, but was it not before?
Right.
What's the standard here? You
I
know what I
guess
mean?
Death.
Yeah, I guess if you die, I'll be like,
That
does
was
seem like a hard labor.
hard.
yeah,
That
okay,
was
yeah.
difficult.
That seems hard. It's
Yeah.
hard to not say that it wasn't. And so she dies in childbirth, which is also funny because it's like her midwife was like, before she died, was like, do not fear, for you have another son. And it's like
Thank
she's
God I can die now.
oh good. At least he's not a woman.
Yeah, really. So he doesn't have to go through this.
He hated women. Oh, that's a good point. Yeah. For she was dying, she called his name Ben Oni. How do you Ben Oni?
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Obi Ben Oni Kobe.
Continue.
And then which is but she called him Ben Oni, but his father called him Benjamin. Right.
Yeah.
So
there's a name note in here.
Yeah.
About the differences between those names.
Yeah. You want to read Ben Oni was son of my distress or something.
Son of my pussy hurts. I think.
Son of my vagina. Ow.
Yeah.
And then Jacob's like, I can't be calling my son pain of my wife's vagina.
Yeah. So
it's terrible.
I'm going to change it to pain of strength.
Strength of my right hand.
Strength of my right
Which
hand.
is really such an uplifting name to Rachel because it's strength of my right hand. She was his right hand. It just shows, again, his undying devotion to Rachel.
Oh,
and
that's what that meant.
Yeah, it's like, this is my right hand. This is the son of my right hand. To call his wife his right hand and not his object back then, like, pretty big deal. So this just, again, reaffirms how much he loves Rachel. And
or
thereby
it's just like he uses that's the hand he uses to
masturbate.
Yeah, and so son of the.
Well,
thing
he had
masturbate
sons
with.
of he had sons of a lot of other hands. Let's just put it that way.
This guy's like an octopus of jerking off.
Yeah. Whoa! Imagine an octopus jerking off. You know how like dudes are like, use your left hand. I'm a lefty.
Because it seems like a different person.
Yeah, exactly. Imagine an octopus being like, I've got my.
Well, that would be an entirely different being.
What do you mean?
Oh, wait.
If an
you're saying
octopus
whacking
masturbating.
itself
Yeah.
off. Oh, I thought it was if you got an octopus to whack you off.
Octopuses have beaks. I wouldn't be interested in that.
Okay, that's
also, a
fair.
suction cup wouldn't really slide very well.
Yeah,
Like,
but it would grip really well.
yeah, but then it this wouldn't. I don't think it'd be very comfortable.
I guess we'll have to run some tests.
Exactly. Oh no.
Oh
See us in Chinatown later
Yeah.
today. But I do think it. Imagine having to delineate between your hand. We have right and left hand. An octopus is like, I got my center left. I got my
they
center
probably go
hand, my
numbers.
left, my center. Huh. Do you think they always do like by clock, or do you think
Clockwise.
someone's like 2, 3, 8, 1
It's probably a cultural thing, and it's really annoying.
to each culture?
Yeah, like a Mediterranean octopi have. I mean, this riff sucks. You want to just keep going?
I think here's the problem: is it's more interesting to me than funny.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, this is actually kind of interesting. But it's you're right. It's probably not very funny. Sorry.
Let's move on.
Sorry.
I should have had a coffee before this
talking
one.
about octopus, descendants. Oh,
Right
son
hand.
of my right hand.
Son of my right hand.
Loves Rachel, thereby he loves Benjamin too, his son Benjamin, who when he calls him, he says, hello, the son of my right hand, constantly thinking that he, like, imagine, it's almost like naming your son your wife's name almost. It's like, yeah, he is a remembrance,
He's like, you're my favorite.
effectively. Joseph is still kind of his favorite because he's the firstborn of his right hand. So Joseph is still the fave. I'm so sorry that I said fave.
It's okay.
That really
you
hurt
do
me
that a lot to
immediately.
words.
Yeah, I do shorten words a lot. So Joseph is the favorite, and then Benjamin is like the second favorite. Basically, anyone who comes from Rachel is like the tops, you know? So, yeah, that's that. And then
the
she dies.
tops?
Yeah, the tops. They're good.
Okay, and everybody comes from Zilpah. Are their bottoms?
Oh, and gay. See, you do really make things pretty homoerotic.
my culture.
You're really forcing this. Like a lot. Like you
No,
have
no,
to
no,
do
no.
in homoeroticism. You got to force it.
Okay,
It's not just
so
gonna go in there.
they're tops, and they Joseph and what's the other one? Who's the firstborn again?
Joseph is the
Joseph is the
firstborn
firstborn.
of Rachel.
Benjamin is
Secondborn of Rachel.
secondborn of Rachel.
But the two youngest of all of the kids.
So back then it would go your first wife, the firstborn of your first wife. Is that's the birthright? Or
first
it's just
male
the-
born.
But the first male born was from Leah,
Yes. Reuben.
but he just doesn't like Leah as much.
He's like-
so Reuben is basically null.
Not null, but like not a favorite. You know, he's the oldest, so there are
But
definitely
he
gonna
technically
be,
has like the birthright, which is this important
imagine
thing that
so,
we
yeah.
don't understand why it's so important.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, he's like, I mean, it's very much like, did you watch Succession?
No.
Okay. Well, I'm the eldest boy. I'm supposed to, I'm the like Reuben is like that status of eldest, so he's entitled to things. But Jacob is like, yeah, but I don't really.
Sure.
not-
It's like a cultural tradition, but
Yeah. But
If
he's like, my
someone's
heart is
cooler-
given to Joseph.
Yeah.
And yeah. I don't know. Imagine you got a few wives on hand and you got a favorite. You're just gonna like those kids more. You know what I mean?
Maybe. I feel like I just like the kids more on like who is a better hang. Maybe that's because of their mom is better, but
that's generally going to be the oldest, I'd imagine, because like who's a better hang?
I feel like the oldest they are the ones that seek independence the most, and so they are not the best hangs. I feel like
okay, I don't know. My parents wanted me to grow up immediately,
so that you would get out of the house.
No, so that I could like be an adult, so we could like chat. You know, like when I was 5, I don't think my mom was like, "This is awesome." Like she loved me and whatever, but she was probably like, "Can we just have an adult conversation?"
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
When are you gonna pop this titty out of your mouth?
Yeah, some kids are
start
not
talking to me about the Lord.
Right, 100%. Some parents are like, I like adult people better than kids. Not everyone's a kid person. I feel like my parents were not kid people.
It shows.
Yep.
Your lack of joy.
Look at my sweater.
And play.
Yeah. Yeah, play.
Yeah, and you do dress like you are, like there is a Jamaican woman taking care of you at home.
Yeah, that'd be kind of nice. I'd be way better at having a Jamaican accent. You. My Jamaican accent would be half as good as Grant's.
Which I don't do one, so I don't know how you know that.
That's a good point. As good as he could have done it, I'm sure. So anyways, Rachel dies in labor, and then Isaac also dies. Mm-hmm. So yeah.
And so they go to celebrate him. He dies at 180.
Sure, pretty old.
So he really, he made the most out of that life.
Yep, pushed it.
And I guess, is there anything else symbolically or otherwise here of the gathering for Isaac's death? Or yeah.
Well, so I will say this, and this is maybe jumping ahead a little bit, but like Esau earlier on, when Jacob was fleeing Esau was like, once dad's dead, I'm gonna get you, you know? And he was just like still alive. So that's part of why Jacob didn't really trust Esau when he was like, yeah, I love you, it's great, it's fine. It's like, yeah, well, dad's still alive, so of course you're gonna say that. So it's like,
yeah, because there's a thing in the next part where he talks about how he ran away from Esau.
Yeah, because he was like, oh, dad's dead, he's coming after me now.
Okay.
Now is when the battle starts, you know?
Okay.
So there is like a bit of fear here. It's like, okay, do you actually, now is like when the rubber meets the road, do you actually hate me or not? So there is tension here.
I forgot about that part of the screaming and shaking the fists in the air agreement.
Right, yeah. That is, and Isaac breathed his last and he died. He was gathered to his people, old and full of days. Okay, well, also I will say right after that, it goes into Esau's descendants. Whole chapter.
Another genealogy.
Of Esau's descendants.
You've noticed the genealogy chapter's a little slow. Not a lot of narrative, just a lot of fucking names, repeating of names, showing which names came from what wife. I mean, the beginning is somewhat of a narrative, which is he took his wives from the Canaanites, and then you get a really good name, which is Oholibama.
Yeah, that's what Obama's whole name was.
That's Obama's full name.
Yeah.
It's Barack Hussein Oholibama. But yeah, then, I mean, man, their 36 is tough.
It's hard. But I will say the big thing to notice is that Esau and Jacob had to split because they were both, same thing as why Jacob had to split from Laban, because they were just both so successful.
Yeah.
And now it's like, okay, Jacob and Esau have to split because it's like, maybe it's not Jacob and Laban, maybe it was Isaac and Abimelech. Anyways, this idea of like this town literally ain't big enough for the two of us. Like we can't, the land can't support all of our stuff.
Also, if our family members keep fucking each other, it's gonna get real bad.
It's gonna come back to bite us in a few generations.
We are already pretty short on teeth.
Yeah, exactly.
We're short on teeth, or we're way too long on teeth.
Yeah, that's a good point. No one has just a regular amount of teeth anymore.
Nobody's got the normal. What is the normal? 32?
I think it was 85
teeth. Okay.
85. That's sharks.
I think sharks are more.
87.
Listen, again, Google everything.
Everything we say.
Don't know.
Down to the bottom thing that we say.
Down to the last thing we said.
So they had to split because they're both so successful. So, which is also interesting because it's like, remember earlier when Esau got that sham of a blessing? He was like,
oh yeah, he's like, you're blessed.
Isaac was like, I kind of gave the good stuff. Anyways, you're not going to live near the fat of the earth and you're going to have to go away and you're going to have to whatever. And Esau's probably like, what the hell?
Yeah.
This blows. But he still had so much stuff that he had to leave.
Yeah, he's still
So he's
doing
still
good
like,
enough.
yeah, he's doing pretty hot. You know what I mean?
It's all relative.
Right. And Esau is the father of Edom, the Edomites. That's another thing I would say to remember going forward in terms of just like who Israel, the nation, interacts with.
Yeah, did we miss the
Coming down
part
the
where
line.
Reuben fucks the
coming
side hoe?
Oh, did I? Oh, that was literally just one sentence.
Yeah.
It's actually really
Oh,
important.
it's back in 35.
Yeah, 35 verse
Now
22.
the sons of Jacob were 12. The sons of Leah.
No, it was right before then.
Oh, okay. Screaming. While Israel lived in the land, Reuben went and lay with Bilhah, his father's concubine, and Israel heard of it. And then we're off to something else.
Bilhah is, I think that's
The servant of Rachel's?
Yeah, Rachel's servant.
Because Zilpah,
Zilpah's his mom. So
he's fucking aliens, I guess.
yeah, it's kind of like
These are Mars names.
yeah, yeah, Zilpah. So he has sex with his dad, one of his dad's concubines,
But not his mom.
not his mom. Thank goodness.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
That'd be way.
But someone
worse.
in his immediate family.
Sure, yeah, by marriage, so they're not genetically related.
Ooh,
but
this is like the
anyways.
first like
Stepmom. Ooh, stepmom. Yeah, it is kind of like that. Basically, this is super
The
insulting.
Bible invented stepmom porn.
Well, listen, we invented it out of This isn't a good thing.
No,
This is
it's a bad
This is
thing.
bad.
It's
Let me be
so
clear.
bad.
It's so bad. Whoa, why does this feel good now?
Okay, so Zilpah,
No, not Zilpah. Bilhah.
Bilhah.
He sleeps.
My apologies for
God, their names are so
confusing
different.
those two.
Yeah. Bilhah, he sleeps with Bilhah. And this is super insulting culturally, right? Because this is basically saying, hey, I'm sleeping with my dad's concubine. That's you putting yourself in the place of your father.
Yeah.
It's super insulting to your dad
Sure.
to be like, I should basically be leading the clan. No, that's
Yeah.
effectively what that's saying.
Right.
And so it's so funny because it's literally just one sentence and Israel heard of it.
And he heard it. He heard of it.
He was like, that's very funny. He's just so calm. He's just like, oh, he did what? Whoa. Crazy. So like, was it good or?
Yeah. Did they high five?
Yeah, I don't know. So that's that.
But nothing comes of it. But it seems like later
Yet.
it does affect his ranking of the children. Because
So,
Reuben is the firstborn, right?
Right. Yes. Yeah.
Joseph, who is the secondborn of the favorite wife.
Firstborn of the favorite wife.
I thought Reuben was the firstborn.
Firstborn of Leah. Reuben is
Oh.
firstborn of Leah.
Oh, but Joseph is firstborn of the...
Rachel.
Okay, because Rachel just had girls. Because Rachel
No.
got pregnant.
Rachel
before all
had
these
Joseph and Benjamin. That is who Rachel had.
things. Okay. I mean, I need like a
Chart.
but because he does like Joseph more than Reuben
Yes.
is the point.
But
of
that's
all
because Joseph is the firstborn son of his favorite wife.
that. And also because Joseph didn't bang his side chick.
I'm sure that played a part of it.
Yeah, I
That's
would
gotta
think
play. That's got to be an aspect.
It doesn't help.
Like if Jacob didn't mention that, you'd be like, well, come on.
Yeah, but come on.
Are you serious? He's like, yeah, okay, yeah.
It's just the. I mean, not like the other
It's
things that
just-
much more logical either. It's
Well,
like
having I don't know how you can't get on board with this. If you had a favorite wife, wouldn't their kid be your favorite kid?
I think you're not supposed to have favorite children,
See, sure, but you do.
but you do.
do.
That's what we're.
Also, when you in our world where you have like 2 or 3, I don't have a favorite. When you have 25 kids, you're like, yeah, I got it.
100%.
I got a list.
Yeah, I guess it's like, what point of children is it acceptable to just be like, I don't like that one.
5.
5?
I think over 5.
Over 5.
5, you got to be like, I love you all equally. 6 is like, I love you each in this order.
Interesting.
It completely disseminates.
Yeah. Okay. Fair.
Yeah, I think that's what I think.
I
The
can't
Duggars,
disagree.
they have 20 children.
Yeah.
I bet their least favorite one is the pedophile. I bet that's their least favorite kid. That's my bet.
But you don't know that.
I guess I really just hope.
They had a pedophile kid?
Yeah, the oldest one, Josh.
The oldest one?
The oldest one was yeah.
Do you think that that's just from being raised around so many kids?
Yeah. I mean, listen, you don't feel a sister-brother connection to 19 other children.
Yeah, like
you just don't.
Damn, that's a wild.
Yeah, dude.
That's a really crazy turn of. Or is that just the statistics on pedophiles?
1 out of 20?
1 out of 20. I hope not. That's such a
Pretty
high
That's
number.
That's 5% of people are pedophiles.
It can't be.
There's
It can't
no
be
way.
higher than schizophrenics.
What are schizophrenics?
1 in 100 men.
Yeah, how many schizophrenics are pedophiles, you think?
Oh my God.
Wow. What if only half of your schizophrenic self is a pedophile and the other half is like,
That's the worst thing ever. Is a pedophile hunter. Kind of a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde type situation.
He's like, there was a kid who was
Or
just...
Memento, where he's just hunting
Yeah,
himself.
he's just tattooing himself. He's like, who's this guy? He's like, looks in the mirror. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
It's me.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, that was a wacky hypothetical.
That was a totally weird riff. Memento, by the way, I hated it. I hated Memento.
Why?
I watched it in art history class in high school, and I didn't connect with it.
It's like such a great first. Well, I guess it's not his first movie, but it's such a good like debut
Entryway into Nolan.
Yeah,
Yeah, I guess
it's
that's probably true.
You can still understand what's going on. It's like his Fight Club.
Yes, yeah, I guess so. But
Although I think Fight Club is a better movie than Memento.
I hated Fight Club too. I thought it was so hacky. I mean, not hacky is the wrong word. It's just it was just like, oh, we get it. You're anti-consumerist. Blah. Just so like in your face, like annoying.
Sure, it wasn't subtle enough for you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, well, let's get back to the Bible.
Hey, you have a lot of questions. This is subtle.
There's a difference between confusing and subtle.
Okay, all right, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Memento, confusing.
You know exactly
Memento is the Bible of Nolan.
You know exactly what's happening.
I don't. I was very confused.
I would say that fucking Tenet was the Bible of Nolan.
Ooh,
All
I
these
think.
stories, a lot of them not really adding up and making sense.
What about Inception being the Bible of Nolan?
No, Inception's too good.
Ouch.
No, it's too concise of a story. There's not these.
It's too traceable. Like you get it.
Yeah, exactly.
But it is a
You
huge
get it
mystery
right
at
off
the
the
end that
bat.
ultimately makes it seem bootstrapped. There's a leap of faith at the end
What does
in
that
order
mean?
to
Bootstrapped.
like it's
I've never
saying.
heard that use.
Oh, it's like this idea that it's cyclical. It's
Bootstrap
like
Milton. That's how.
Bootstrap
I
what?
only know. My brain can only think of Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, that's funny. Wow, I hadn't thought about that in forever.
Mm-hmm.
No, this idea that like it's cyclical. It's like, oh, he was there to send himself the message back that he got at the beginning of the movie. It's just a it's
so
self-contained.
yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. You have to just take that leap of faith that is what happened,
That-
which I think a lot of scripture is. A lot of it makes so much sense, but ultimately it does come down to a step of faith for you to be like, I accept this. Mm-hmm. And it's the best movie. Interstellar.
Oh, Interstellar.
Mm-hmm.
I thought we were talking about Inception that whole time.
No, Interstellar.
Oh, okay.
Inception's not bootstrapped. I'm sorry, maybe I never said Interstellar.
What is bootstrapped?
It was just that I remember saying that it's this idea of like it being cyclical. It's like you trying to lift yourself up by your own bootstraps.
Oh, and you're just pulling.
Yeah, you're
against
just
your own
pulling
weight.
on your own thing. It's like, okay, yeah, it's cyclical.
Damn. All right. What the fuck were we talking? Oh, the Bible.
Well, we were talking about the Duggars and pedophilia, but we'll move off of that.
the Duggars.
Yeah, I think that was our least favorite kid. That would suck. That would suck if he wasn't. Like there was another one of their 20 kids.
That was a pedophile.
No, that wasn't a pedophile, but he was still their least favorite.
Because he just wasn't as good of a hang.
Just like, I don't know. He's like 8, and they're like,
Just
I don't like that kid.
Every time he says something, you just kind of go, What about the other one?
up.
He does suck, but you can have a conversation.
Yeah,
with
you could
him.
chat with him. You could be like, what was going on? He's like, I don't know. But the other guy's like, what are they? Like,
Yeah.
ugh, just annoying, you know?
It really is. If you are a charming pedophile, that is more acceptable than being even slightly annoying.
It's crazy how much charm. That's my worst nightmare, is meeting a charming pedophile. Because I don't want to like a pedophile.
No.
And then you meet a guy, but you're like, damn, he's
But
so
look
cool.
at, Chris D'Elia still sells out stadiums.
Yeah, man.
I guess not stadiums, theaters, big theaters.
Mm-hmm.
But that
Yeah.
guy's like confirmed pedophile.
I don't know much about that story.
Oh, okay.
It was about Snapchat or whatever.
He was for sure just texting like a bunch of like underage girls. Like,
Oh, well, that's no good.
agree.
That's bad.
And finally, we find a place of agreement.
This is what we agree on. Our rating system is kind of weird,
And pedophiles
and
are
pedophiles no good. They're not good, I'll tell you that much.
And why do we think that? Well, because of our morals are corrected by Judeo.
And now we separate, and then we separate again because
Mm-hmm.
Grant just makes it up. I have a good reason.
You You think you do?
Yeah, you're right. I do think I do.
Yeah.
And we're back. All right. All right, Gabe. Then it's a very long name of genealogies of Esau and his people. Which
This episode sucks.
yeah, this is a really bad app. Our riffs are so they don't make any sense.
Half-hearted.
Yeah,
We're so
we
distracted.
don't believe in them at all.
It's not the greatest content.
The content's hard, dude. Which is so funny because we're coming up on Joseph, which is like huge story, and we're
Stick
just
around for the next. Don't
we're
let
just-
this episode, which we acknowledge is not great.
It's not
40
good.
minutes.
You want to
in.
edit this into the beginning?
Yeah.
Hey guys,
I'll mark that.
just to be fair.
Just a heads up.
Yeah, hold on.
If you're gonna skip one, this is the one. That's the title. It's just no puns. Just skip this one.
Yo, this one's not. This one's a hot dump.
Stinks. But alas,
This is so bad.
we persevere. It's
Dude, what's
really.
so-
I feel so off.
I do too. I don't know what it is.
like 5 times on camera.
God, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Not that it's just when you have it
because it was like we had a good morning.
Good morning
Do you
was
think we
good.
hang out too much before the thing?
Well, no. Here's I think what the problem was is we tried to edit a little bit before up there. I think that could have thrown off the mojo.
Oh, interesting.
Which it's closed now, but maybe at the beginning of the episode
you could tell we were down.
that we're downloading
Yeah,
something.
maybe
My
we
computer
got into too
sucks.
technical of a mindset. We couldn't.
Yeah, we couldn't riff. Also, I
We
do
need
think
to do like Meisner technique before we do this, where we're like slapping our faces and like doing like Sally sells, she sells at the seashore.
yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather, red leather,
and like improv games,
red leather,
like
yellow. Yeah.
where we're just reacting to each other's emotions. Like we say the same word over and over again. Yeah, like dark.
Night.
No. You just so
I was doing word association.
No, the word association is good.
Okay.
This episode's okay, word association is good. Let's do that. Jesus.
Christ.
That seems like a full stop.
Yeah, sorry. Wow, he is the beginning and the end. Whoa. Josh is so good at making it all relate to the Bible.
Yeah. You got to be.
Yeah, I kind of. It's
All right, so 37, Joseph has a dream. Dreams are big.
Well, okay. Wait, hold on. Is that? Yeah, that is kind. It does kind of take a big jump. It's just like it does a whole thing about Esau and his people, and then it's just like, all right, back to Jacob and his folks and Joseph specifically.
So like they decide like what books they're gonna whatever. What is is it like the? There's this thing. It's called like the Council of
Trent.
Is it the?
No, probably not.
That's like World War II or World War I.
Council of Nicaea.
That was Nicaea, where they decide what books they're going to keep in and what books they don't.
Yes, that was more
What
of a
about
New
the
Testament specific book.
Order of the chapters within the books.
No, well, this is just that's
Do you have any idea of
Much
where
older.
that came from? Okay.
I don't know.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
I was just curious because it's like you're saying there's more Edomite stuff coming up. Why not put the descendants of Esau before that?
Well, it's just when they're splitting, I think it makes sense. Because it's like, okay, Jacob and Esau go their separate ways. By the way, this is all of Esau's stuff. Just have that in the back of your mind. All right, onward with Jacob. It does show that like the main narrative of salvation is coming through Jacob and his people.
Okay.
You know, so it does say like let's stick to that narrative.
And then the next break off of the narrative, like of the main channel, is Joseph.
Yes.
Okay, and Joseph. Is Joseph the same Joseph as the Jesus Joseph?
Oh, like is this Jesus' not dad? Are we talking about? Nope. That's thousands of years from now.
That's thousands of years
hundreds
from now.
maybe. Yeah, hundreds of years.
Okay,
from now.
well, they live to be 100. I don't
Maybe
know.
thousands of years. Yeah. No.
Okay, so then Joseph's dreams. Josh, tell us about Joseph's dreams.
Okay, so Joseph again, Jacob's favorite son, is and his mom's dead. By the way, Rachel's dead. Joseph, being 17 years old, was pasturing the flock with his brothers. He was a boy with the sons of Bilhah and Zilpah, basically saying he's hanging out with all of his brothers, right? And then it goes, and Joseph brought a bad report of them to their father. So he's basically he's just the younger brother being like, you suck.
He's annoying.
All of them suck. And they're like, we hate you. You're so annoying. Like, why are you, snitching on us? This is so annoying. So he doesn't like him. The brothers don't like him, and Jacob loves him. So obviously this is where the coat of many colors comes in. Or maybe I shouldn't say obviously, but Jacob makes Joseph this wicked nice coat that none of the other kids get, of like a ton of different colors, which obviously shows like
Joseph in the Technicolor coat sounds like a Beatles album.
It kind of does sound like a Beatles album. But yeah, I don't know if they knew what Technicolor was back then. But
that's what it is, right?
I don't know if it was Technicolor, but it was colored. Had a lot of colors.
Had a lot of colors.
Yeah. Had a lot of colors coat.
So he gives him this nice robe, basically saying to everybody, yo, this is my favorite son.
Yeah. And he hates you guys, by the way. And I love him. So,
which makes them hate him even more.
100%. And so then Joseph, so imagine you hate your younger brother, and then your younger brother comes up to you and goes, hey guys, I had a dream, and in this dream we were binding sheaves, like grain and stuff in a field.
Oh,
and
that's what that is.
Yeah, and my sheaves arose and stood upright, and behold, your sheaves gathered around it and bowed down to my sheaf. Also, he's saying, behold, we were binding sheaves in the field. If anyone says the word behold to me,
behold, fuck you.
I hate you.
Yeah.
Behold? Who are you saying behold?
Word. Yeah.
Behold. You're a kid. Stop
behold my nuts in your mouth. How about that? How about that? We're back.
Boom. This is the best episode we've ever recorded.
Best episode so far.
Cut this right after the last thing. You cut it.
Worst episode ever / best episode
best episode ever. Behold your nuts in your mouth. And that's probably what these dudes were saying. Because they're basically like, yeah, your sheaves bow down to my sheaves.
Yeah.
And he's like way younger than all of them.
That's
and they hate him.
Tap. You say that to the brothers? I feel like you're getting sacked.
Behold. Ugh, gross.
Yeah.
Don't be coming to me with your behold.
Shut up.
So and then he has another dream later about the sun and the stars, and they all bow down to him again too. And of equal number with like his parents and his brothers. I think it was like 11 stars and the sun and moon like bowed down to him.
Yeah.
How does a sphere bow? That is kind of an interesting.
Right.
A sphere. I don't really know how that happens.
More tilts.
Yeah, I guess it more it acts.
Sure.
It leans on its axis towards you. So this kid's a dick.
Yeah.
Joseph is like not liked by his brothers. His dad loves him, and all of his brothers are like, you are annoying.
Right.
And you know you're the favorite, and you're freaking gallivanting. And you gotta imagine his dad is probably like, why are you doing this? Like, why? You gotta know that your brothers would hate you.
I feel like when you're the favorite, the parents don't even notice this type of stuff.
Yeah, probably. They're probably just like, yeah, isn't he awesome?
Oh, he's so great. Oh, look at him. Like he's doing shitty things. And like, look at him. He's smart. And so you know what they say? Fuck this kid. Well, let's make him a slave.
I will say first, though, Jacob does say, what is this dream that you have dreamed? Shall I and your mother and your brothers come to bow ourselves to the ground before you? And even his dad was kind of like, all right, this seems a little nuts.
Settle down.
Yeah, just cool it a little bit. And so, but yeah, ultimately, yeah, you want to dive into that part?
Wait, but at the end of this, he goes, you indeed to rule over us? So they hated him.
The brothers hated him,
The brothers hated him even more. What the fuck? Even more for his dreams and for his words. So it's just adding insult to injury. And then basically one day, all the brothers go to tend the sheep somewhere else. I guess give them some new grass to chew on.
Yeah.
And so he goes out to find them. And when he gets there, they're like, you know what? We could totally just like fake that he got eaten by an animal and kill this asshole right now.
Well, I guess that, yeah, that's true.
And then one of the other brothers is like, no, let's just throw him in a hole, which is, a good bargain.
Yeah.
Let's not kill him. Let's just throw him in a pit. And there's no pit. There's no water in the pit, which is a detail mentioned for some reason.
Well, yeah, he's not treading water. He's not drowning. It's an empty.
So it's more of like,
well.
Out of all, if you're going to get thrown in a well, the one without water is the best one to get thrown into?
Well, I'd imagine that you don't have to tread water. But also maybe it shows something about how his brothers are not that good at shepherding. Like, hey, let's take the sheep to a place where there's no water.
Oh, interesting.
Like, hey, stupid, why would you take the sheep there? Like, maybe this is part of his report. Like, he brings back to his dad. He's like, yo, my brothers are like kind of messing
is this
around.
The negative report?
No, not necessarily, but it could be indicative of how they're shepherding. They take their sheep to a place where there is no water in the well.
Oh, so whatever his negative report was could have been in the vein of something like this of these guys are incompetent.
Exactly. They're kind of goofing around. You know what I mean?
I mean, I don't know where you would get that.
Well, just this idea of there's a well there, but there's no water. Why would
Okay.
you take your sheep to a place where there's a well with no water?
Yeah, I guess it so frequently feels like there's just this detail where I'm like, that makes no sense, and then I move on instead of being like, why would this be in there? Why does this thing that makes no
I've
sense?
literally never thought of that until this very moment.
Well, I'm so glad that I could inspire that new thought in you.
Thank you. Thank you, Grant Moore.
And so then some traders
Well,
come.
wait. Before then, this is
sorry.
also another detail that I thought was funny. So Joseph is going to go check up on them, right? And then he goes, they saw him from afar, and before he came near to them, they conspired against him to kill him. So basically, they were just sitting there chatting, doing whatever, and then they see him, and then by the time he got within earshot, they were like, "Yo, you want to like kill this?
We
dude?
should kill this
We
guy."
should kill him." Like, imagine how like fast that story, like it went from 0 to let's kill this dude.
They were probably talking about how they'd kill him that whole
Beforehand.
day, and then
if he came
then they
by-
saw him. They were like, "Are we going to commit? Are we men of our word?"
Yeah, that's probably true. Yeah.
And so they. Okay, so then Reuben or what?
Reuben, who is what?
The firstborn, but the not most liked.
He's also the guy that slept with his dad's
the
concubine.
concubine.
So
Okay.
Reuben's like, I messed up
Oh,
already.
so this is an action of guilt.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Reuben is like, I've already.
Sorry, I fucked Dad's side piece. To make it up for him, I won't kill his favorite son.
I won't kill his favorite son. I'm going to try and save him.
by throwing him into a pit.
Because they were going to kill him. So then Reuben's like, let's just throw him in here instead. It'll be just as good.
Yeah,
Right?
Right.
So they throw him in the well.
They throw him in the well, and then some Ishmaelites coming from Gilead or Gilead?
Gilead.
Come by.
Marilyn Robinson, Gilead, best book ever. Go ahead.
Sure. And they're like, hey, why don't we sell him as a slave for 20 shekels, which
Ishmaelites, descendants of,
Ishmael,
who is the brother of?
a man. Isaac.
That was Isaac's brother, who was the child of Hagar. Remember?
Oh, yeah, the
Slave woman. The slave woman had Ishmael. Then
And the
some of his
Ishmaelites-
descendants came
The
by.
Ishmaelites will one day become Islam.
Yes.
Okay.
It's all connected.
It's all connected. So they basically sell him to the Ishmaelites, who buy him for what I can't imagine is a lot of money, 20 shekels.
Probably, yeah, they're probably trying to get him off his hands. But, they're bargainers, those people.
Sure.
So,
And so then they take him to Egypt.
mm-hmm.
And when Reuben returns to the pit and saw that Joseph was not in the pit, he tore his clothes and returned to his brothers and said, "The boy is gone, and where shall I go?" So because he did this thing out of guilt, when it doesn't work out, he's like, fuck.
Yeah, he tried to save him. He ultimately was like, let's not kill him. And then he was going to come back to the pit and save him and like bring him back.
Yeah.
Right. And then all of his brothers just kind of went rogue while he was gone and
Sure.
just sold him. And then he's like, what the hell?
Yeah.
And
then-
he's worried. He's thinking of himself, right?
Sure.
He's like, I already messed up. And now I, as the lost the kid, what do we do?
Yeah. Oh, okay. So it's all falling on me. This is going to look really bad on. Like, he's not worried about his brother. This is just going to look bad on me.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd say he's not worried about him at all, but it is largely like he does say, "Where shall I go?"
Yeah,
he didn't
that's
ask.
why I'm saying he's not worried at all.
Yeah, that seems fair.
I mean, I think
I'll amend.
I think a lot of this stuff, the point is like self-preservation and jealousy and guilt. Like, what do these things make people do? Like all of these awful decisions. And also being what's the opposite of like a dick, like an arrogant dick. Like,
It's the opposite of being an arrogant dick.
no, the opposite of
Humble
humble.
vagina.
So instead of being a nice humble vagina, Joseph is a bit of an arrogant dick. He doesn't understand his place in the family,
Yes.
and that causes jealousy, and then the jealousy leads to trying to kill him, and then the guilt leads to trying to save him, but it doesn't work out. And so at the end of the day, you just have this mess from these very basic these actions
Impulses.
based on human impulses and emotions that are jealousy, guilt, and another thing that I mentioned.
Anger.
And anger. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's kind of, I guess, what I'm looking at in this story to try and bring it to like modern terms.
Yeah. Every single incident of acting out of those impulses went bad.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, every single part of this is terrible.
Sure.
and it's like everyone's sad. Nobody's happy. Jacob was pretty stoked, but because he acted in pride, his brothers acted out in anger, got him sold to a thing. Which, you want to read the last sentence there? Going
So
into 38.
basically, they go and they tell Jacob, like, hey, we lost your child, your favorite child, to some type of animal. Because they soak the kid's garments in like goat's blood to make it look like he was killed by an animal.
Mm-hmm.
And Jacob goes, fuck, and then he rips his garments off and puts on sackcloth on his loins and mourned his son for many days.
Mm-hmm.
All his sons and all his daughters rose up to comfort him, but he refused to be comforted and said, no, I shall go down to Sheol to my son mourning. Thus his father wept for him. Meanwhile, the Midianites had sold him being Joseph, in Egypt to Potiphar, and an officer of Pharaoh, the captain of the guard.
Yeah.
What I mean, yeah, you wanted me to read that last line, but what are we supposed to get out of it?
Well, just this idea, where are we leaving Joseph before we end the episode? Where are we leaving Joseph? He's in Egypt. He's in a high-ranking official's house.
Oh, okay.
That's where he's at. So it's probably not the worst form of slavery you could have.
Mm-hmm.
But it also shows something. It is also indicative of him as a person, right? Like if you're a garbage human, like a bad looking, frail, whatever, you're not going to get sold to that dude.
Oh,
you know what I mean? So it's sort of like he's an able-bodied
nice boy.
He's like a healthy man,
Good, strong boy.
Yeah, he gets sold to like a.
Well,
nicer
how old
station.
is he? Do we know?
It started with him saying he's 17. Yeah, when he was 17
really?
years old. Yeah.
Okay.
So he should have a few kids by then, frankly. But
yeah, I mean, he's gonna die soon.
Yeah,
he's gonna die soon in 160 years. Yep. What is the significance of when people are angry, like Reuben does this when he finds out that Joseph has been disappeared, and then Jacob does this, is ripping the garments off.
Yeah.
They're like hulking their clothes.
Yeah, they turn green.
You don't want to see me when I'm mourning.
You wouldn't like me when I'm mourning.
I fucked up that reference so hard.
This whole episode.
Yeah, it's really
bad.
I cannot wait.
I'm back to it being bad.
It does suck. No, it objectively sucks.
Bad than good than bad.
So Jacob's deception by his son using Joseph's cloak and a slaughtered goat mirrors the way Jacob had deceived his own family by using Esau's cloak and 2 goats. Oh, wow. Good thing I accidentally read that line instead of the one I intended to. So that's an interesting throwback of like, there's a cycle to human decisions and consequences. Like we see it over and over again with the lie of like, this is my sister, not my wife. We see it
3 times.
We see it the stealing of birthrights.
Mm-hmm.
We see it of being deceived, like Esau, like people being deceived and being servants.
And then Laban tricks Jacob like twice. Then Jacob tricks him back. And now Jacob's getting tricked again by his sons in the same way that he tricked his father.
The new, like the approach to this that you've introduced me that I like is like, there's not always like what to do, but there is how we are. And that there's just constant reminders of your petty little emotions or your short-sightedness, and you're trying to take things into your own hands to profit solely you. There's repercussions, and the repercussions are generational and they're repeatable.
Yes.
That's very East of Eden-y too.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Can you break this cycle?
Can you break this cycle? And one of the only ways to break the cycle might be to accept that the way out is relinquishing some control.
Yeah.
Or all control. I don't know.
100%. Yeah. And I think it's interesting also talking about how bad these guys are as like farmers. Like they have farmers and they're maybe, they're leading them to places with no water, and then they just kill some of the livestock to trick their father. They steal from him in that sense. They sell his son, get the money, kill some goats. Like it's all just take, just to, cover their own butts.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it does expose to us how we are.
Yeah.
We're deceitful. We're angry. We're bad. Like we did, we'll course correct by doing this. And then we overcorrect. And then we course correct by doing this. It's just like mistake. How do we break that cycle? 100%.
And how do we?
Good cue.
Hey, we ended on a thought.
Well, yeah, maybe.
It only took an hour.
Yeah, not even really. I mean, we not even a full hour. It only took us 59 minutes and 45 seconds
to really just get one thought.
And
I think we made one joke that was actually funny and not
Dude,
super forced.
This
And it was about the episode sucking.
here's what really I don't understand how these other people riff on stuff that is like abstract and doesn't make sense, and people like it. And then I go to a realm that's kind of abstract the same way, and I'm like, I connect to this 0%. You know, when you're riffing and you're just going through the riff motion and you don't really feel it.
I think it's an interesting conversation, but I don't want to elongate this episode anymore.
Yeah, I really just did it so we'd cross the hour mark.
Okay. Well, think about what Josh just said.
No, think about what did you say? What was the last thing you said that was meaningful? How do we break the cycle?
How do we break the cycle? We'll find out. Definitely not next week, but maybe through over the course of the next 10 years it takes us to read this. But yeah, thanks for listening. If you did, if you finished, and
dear Lord,
dear God,
you saint.
Let us know. We will reward you somehow with another episode that also might suck. But we got to the end.
We did it.
And you know
and
what?
you can do it too.
And you can do it too. Tune in next week. We're really sorry. This has been another episode of
Call Him Father.